There we go. There we go. All recording.
All right, perfect. And yes, like KP said, everyone, please do take notes today. This is going to be one of the biggest things that I'm going to ask you to do. Please do take notes. I don't have time to go into it, but if you've got colors available nearby, please use colors today as well. Rather than just lines and lines of black or blue text, use colors, use doodles, use diagrams, purely because left and right side of the brain, the right side of your brain is creative and it remembers stories, it remembers colors, more than just lines and lines of text like we were at school, because you'd remember it one day and you'd forget it the next. So if you do have colors to hand, please use them. If you don't, do doodles and sketches alongside any notes that you think are light bulb moments during today. So I'm just going to share the screen with you all. Can everyone see that okay? Just a yes in the chat box. I'm going to check. This is the first test. Can everyone see that okay? Just a yes in the chat box, please, would be great. Let's have a look. Everyone can see that okay? Yes, yes, yes. Perfect. Everyone's engaged. Great. So like KP said, look, welcome to today. It's all about you. Please do take notes. Please engage. Please put your thoughts into the chat box when we request you to do so. It's digital, so this is how we're going to go about connecting with one another and sharing our thoughts. So it's really important that you're a part of this. As I said, and KP mentioned, I think this is about as factually correct as we can get. You will forget 97% of what we covered today. Almost everything that we covered today, you will forget unless you write it down and unless you turn it into a physical reality from your mind down on paper. So it's really, really important that you do this. Okay. So today is all about goal setting. Goal set. We've got an Olympic champion, an athlete champion in the room today, Mr. Derek Redmond. So he's going to know all about goal setting and how powerful it is. But what we're going to cover is, what is a goal? We're going to go through how to set a goal, and most importantly, how to implement a goal. Okay, so these are the three key components that we're going to be covering today. As an overview, I'm just going to give you my story. Why should you pay any attention to what I'm saying and what I'm doing? As KP said, my name is Caldy, but almost everyone I know calls me Kooks. My purpose is quite simple. It's about growth in life, in business, and in happiness. It's how KP and I know each other. It's how Sunny and I know each other. It's what we've got in common. I'm a serial entrepreneur, so I've got 3 businesses that I currently run. And my main work is doing this. I'm a coach. I'm a business coach now. And I'll get into why and how that's happened in a moment. So my story is this, that you can see on the left-hand side, there's a beautiful set of apartments. And after a short career in the city as a stockbroker, my first business was actually alongside KP's brother, Sunny, and we built decidingly 152 apartments out in India. I don't speak the language out there. I didn't know anything about it, but we took a chance. I think we raised 250K from investors. We built 152 apartments worth about £5 million, and we made it happen. We built it, we made it come to life. I sold out of that business to start my family business, which you can see on the right-hand side, because my dad loved making chili sauce and chili, and he loved chili. So it was a very exciting time in my life. We were in the press, any press that you can think of. We were there. We were on TV. We were on the radio. We were scaling. It was all about growth. We were in Sainsbury's, Tesco's, Ocado, Selfridges, Harvey Nichols. We were exporting to Africa, America, to Europe. And I had investors that had come into the business and raised over £200,000 on the Seeders crowdfunding platform as well. So it was just a trajectory of intensity in my life, and something that I never thought I'd do, but there I was. It was very, very rapid and intense, as I was saying. I'd basically gone from a garden shed where I was with my family, handpicking chilies, to being on TV and being seen by millions. But very quickly, I realized I hated it. It consumed my life, because essentially I'd created myself a job that I couldn't leave, and my boss, i.e. me, was a lunatic. My lunatic boss would take no days off, 18-hour days, no social life really. My health suffered, physically and mental health was really badly suffering. If I did not work, I did not get paid. That was a big one as well. And it was stressful, and I felt like there was no way out. And I was stuck in having this hustler mindset, right? I was stuck in this mindset. As you can see on screen, the image on the left-hand side is in our office in East London. It's 10:17 p.m. Saturday night in London, and I'm celebrating working. I'm celebrating that I should be working late night. And the middle picture is our old house in the living room where we used it as a storeroom for our sources. And I thought that this is what business was. And so the reason I got into coaching and why I still own my businesses and why they're growing is that I decided that I hated that life so much. I needed to do something different. And so a long story short, I got introduced to coaching, and my first session was so profound that on the way home, on the train, I booked my first 7-day holiday in 7 years with my girl, Amma, and we went away, and that was the first day of the rest of my life, should I say. And today, I build people and I build businesses. That is the key difference. I work on my businesses rather than in my business. So I hope that gives you a bit of context as to who I am and a little bit of my story. And it sets the groundwork and the foundations for what we're going to cover today. So I want to spend a little bit of time on this particular concept, the point of power. And I'm going to need your engagement here as well, please. So this is the point of power. In any given situation, especially when it's a tough or difficult scenario, we have a point of power. We have a choice to make, right? So let's say, for example, we're all in a company, and one of you has been tasked with sending an email to a specific client to offer them 50% off as a deal. However, this email has gone to the entire database of 10,000 people, and everyone's got 50% off. It's a bad day in the office. Typically, if you guys have been broken up into teams, what will start to happen? What do most people do when something bad happens in any given situation? Any thoughts in the chat box? Panic? Yeah, definitely panic. What else? Blame? Blame is spot on. What else? Anything else? I'm going to give you guys a clue. The words begin with these letters. So blame we've picked up. Bury the head. Yeah, that is one of these words. We've got another word for it, but burying your head, definitely. What else? Plan B. Nice, Julia. Hold on to that thought. I love that. But that's not where we're going at the moment. Anything else? A couple more guesses. Find the positives. All right, we're starting to move in the right direction. What tends to happen is this, right? A couple of you got it. So the email's gone out to 10,000 people instead of one person. We start blaming. We start making excuses, and we start denying that it happened. Or it wasn't me. I wasn't told. Right? It was so-and-so. I see Jay Shah. I see your name. It was Jay's fault. He told me that it needs to go to this email list. Or we make excuses. I was really stressed out. I didn't know what I was doing. Now, it's not to say that we're lying. These things could happen, right? These could happen. It could be a very true thing that actually it is someone else's fault. You know, that thing could have, the builders do this all the time. There you go. They blame, they make excuses, and it's in denial as well, right? People are in denial. You bury your head and you kind of don't want to be called out on this. So before we move on, what would be the opposite of this? So a couple of you started to think about the opposites. And I'm going to give you some help. The words that I'm looking for start with these letters: opportunities, apologize, ownership, damage, limitation. Rashira, you're on the right track. Acknowledging the problem, yeah. Exactly. All of these things are spot on. The words that we're looking for here is ownership, accountability, and responsibility. Okay. So I'm going to just start this again because I really want to emphasize how important this is in any given scenario, whether it's in your business life or in your personal life. We have a point of power. We have a choice to make every single time. Rather than reacting, we're making a choice to respond. So this line that you see in the middle, do we choose to go below the line? Do we choose to blame, make excuses, be in denial? Or do we choose to go above the line? Are we going to take ownership, accountability, and responsibility? So if we take this example of this email, instead of going to one person, giving them a 50% discount, it's gone to the entire database of 10,000, and everyone gets a 50% discount. The person who pressed the button, if they turn around and they say to either their manager or their team, say, you know what, it's on me. I have to take ownership of this. I press that button. I'm so sorry I pressed that button. And then imagine if the manager of that team steps up and says, you know what, no. Okay, you've done that, but I'm accountable for this. I'm the manager. I'm to be held accountable for this occurring. Perhaps you were under too much pressure. Perhaps this occurred. Perhaps there's an opportunity for us to do this better next time. And then collectively as a team, they all take responsibility. Right? Imagine the difference in this scenario, in this particular company, because we're all in this company together. What are your thoughts? Again, in the chat box, how do you think these two different scenarios are going to play out? If you go below the line, what's going to happen to the team morale, to the business that week, let's say? Will keep deteriorating, vicious cycle, it withers and dies, unproductive. It's horrible. It's a horrible situation to be in. But what about now if we go above the line? Everyone, yeah, below negative feelings, above the line is positive. Yeah, exactly. But what happens now if we go above the line? This crappy thing has occurred, but what's something that's going to happen now to the team, to the people, to the individuals? It'll turn into a strength, unity, better leadership. Look at that. Look at all these incredible statements being shared by everyone. You've got something to work towards, right? Growth. It's so powerful. It's so powerful that we go above the line in any given scenario. And why it's so powerful with goal setting? Because it's so easy to go below the line in goal setting. So easy to go below the line in goal setting. Let's say it's a health and fitness goal. Oh man, I had a heavy weekend. I was pissed. So I missed my training session. My food was messed up on a Sunday. I woke up at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. You make an excuse. You're in denial about it. Oh, no. I'm doing the milkshake diet for 30 days. No, I'm good for 5 days of the week. I only pig out on the weekend. You're in denial. You're lying to yourself, right? Same with your business. There's times where you're going to blame, make excuses and deny, and it's okay. But it's important that you recognize you've got a choice to make. You want to go above the line. So there's a new point of power I want to introduce to you guys. So we're going to go above the line at any given opportunity, and we have to recognize when we're below the line, and that's okay as well. But what happens is when you go below the line, this is what happens. You externalize the situation and you become a victim. It's happening to you. It's the outside world. It's happening to you. There's nothing you can do about it. You're a victim. However, if you go above the line, and if we go above the line as a group, all members of the Founders Club, you help each other, you call each other out. If you go above the line, you internalize it and you own it. You have a victor's mindset. There's something that you can do about it. Not to say it's going to be easy or anything like that, but there is something that you can do about it. Now, we coach for this for hours sometimes because it's such a powerful principle. We go through examples. We work through to ensure that everyone understands it. And so I just wanted to introduce this concept to you today. If you want to take a screenshot of this, please do. And I'm going to move on because it's really, really powerful when it comes to goal setting. It's so important that we take this point of choice, this point of power, and go above the line as often as we possibly can. So typically in business, there's three main areas of pain. There's four, but there's three main areas of pain that I'll explain in a second. And again, this is to do with your goal setting and how you can alleviate pain in your business with goal setting. So time pain, Perhaps you're time poor. You don't have the time to do things. People pain. Perhaps you can't find the right team members, or the team members that you have are causing you some kind of pain. And if we go above the line, typically it's got something to do with you, the way that you've been training them, what you've got in place, your business culture, and so on. And finally, money pain. So cash flow issues, perhaps not enough sales, or perhaps you're getting too many sales, but you can't deliver the quality that you once used to be able to deliver. And then the final pain is a marketing pain. You're not getting enough leads in, not enough people know about you. So there's 4 different areas that you can start to think about setting goals in. And again, it's something that we coach on. I coach people on, I get coached on to alleviate pain in these areas, because it's the 4 common pains in business. So I love playing this game. And if you know the answer, please don't share it just yet with everyone else. I'd like for you to answer this first question. What is a business? Just in the chat box. If you know the answer that I'm going to share, please don't share it. But in your own words, what is a business? Giving away your control, provides a service or goods. Anything else? Any other definitions of what a business is? Solves a problem. Rashir has got all the answers today. And we're all business owners here. Freedom. What is your definition as a business owner? What is your definition of a business? Giving something to a client, customer that has value, providing a service. Okay, one more. Your definition of a business. Exchanging of value. Okay, great. Cheers, Jeremy. So look, pen and paper time. I'm going to ask you specifically to write some stuff down throughout this presentation. I want you to write this down today, please. Our definition of business, this is now my definition of a business as well, is this: a commercial and profitable enterprise which works without you. I'm going to repeat that because it's so important if you are in business. A business is a commercial and profitable enterprise which works without you. So if you remember my story earlier on, I'd created myself a job that I couldn't leave. I didn't have a business. I just had a job. Our purpose here is for us to all build businesses. Well, for most of us, if you want to, our purpose is to build a business which works without you. So what is a business coach? A business is essentially the unreasonable friend who holds you accountable. We've all got that one mate that calls you out on things. And sometimes it's that one mate that you don't necessarily want to talk to, despite how much love you might have between yourselves. But that's what a coach is, someone that's always going to be there to hold you accountable. Derek, again, you're probably best suited for all of from all of us to know what a coach does, and they do hold you accountable. And is coaching right for you? Potentially. But if you're a kind of I know, yeah, but type of person, your mindset is kind of fixed, probably not. But if you've got a growth mindset, you're a kind of go on, I'm listening type of person, potentially coaching is right for you. Not to say for me to be a business coach for you or whoever I'm working with, could be anyone. So just for your reference, this is how we go about building a business, and you will most likely go through similar steps yourself, whether you work with us or not. You start at the foundations. You want to have mastery, destination, time, delivery, and money mastery. So you eliminate chaos in your business, the first step. The second step is creating predictable cash flow in your business. Because once you know that you're going to have a steady stream of income, there's a lot that you can do with that. We then start to build efficiencies in your business so that you're eliminating waste and becoming better and better at what you do. We then start to build your business and structure it for growth. Because either you're growing or you're dying, really, in your business and in life. Then we start to build a well-oiled machine And finally, you have the owner, the founder's personal growth and or a new business. You expand, you make investments, but essentially you have massive results at the end of this, time, team, and money that allow you to move on and do more with life. So let's get into it. What is a goal? Most people that I come across, most people that I speak with initially, when it comes to goal setting, they confuse a goal with a vision or task, and they're not really able to define what a goal is. So before I continue, again, very, very quickly, just in the chat box, a couple of notes. What do you think a goal is? If you were to define a goal, what do you think a goal is? And if you don't know, just put, I don't know, question mark, anything like that. That's okay as well. Specific achieved outcome, direction, measurable, time bound. Okay, cool. A desired result, smart. Smart's good. Okay, perfect. So let's dive into it. I'm going to start before the goal. And this is a question I actually do want to ask you. Write this down. You don't have to answer it necessarily. What is a vision? And do you have a vision for your business? I'll repeat that. What is a vision? And do you have a vision for your business? Okay. So a vision is the big picture, right? The vision is basically in the 1960s, President John F. Kennedy saying to the American public, saying to the world, within a decade, we are going to put a man on the moon. This is the big picture. Right? This picture is set to, this big picture is set to enroll and inspire anyone that's involved with the company or even who's not involved with the company. So in this scenario, he said to the American public, to the world, within a decade, we're going to put a man on the moon. It's going to enroll and inspire the engineers, the creators, the problem solvers, the investors, the networkers of the world who are excited by this type of big picture. It's going to attract the right types of people, and it will make people want to move mountains literally to make this come true because it's so inspiring. Can you imagine in the 1960s? You know, you're in America, JFK is your president. He's saying, I'm going to put a man on the moon within a decade, and I want you to come and help us make this happen. Imagine how proud that will make you feel, how excited that would make you feel. You'd want to do anything that you can, if this is what you're into, to make this come to life, right? So again, I'll ask you the question, with your business, whether you're working by yourself or if you've got a team of 20, 30, 40, 50 people, what is your vision? What is your big picture? How are you enrolling and inspiring yourself, your team, and more importantly, your clients? Because your clients are going to see your big picture. And it's got to enroll and inspire them as well, right? So as an example, with the coaching business I'm a part of, it's to empower business owners to achieve their dreams. Very simple, right? For me, it did help me achieve my dreams and it unlocked a whole new world for me. So I wanted to be a part of this. For my family business, which is called Mr. Sings, and I'll share links to my businesses so you can check them all out later on. Our purpose is simple, bringing people together with food. That business saved my family, brought my family together. And so we were like, well, we want to bring everyone together with food. Cushy Face, my creative print business, the vision for that is to be the happiest place to work in the UK. That is my big vision for that business. Nothing to do with what we do, it's about the people. And then my final business, Two Bears, the digital creative agency, is telling the brand story of entrepreneurs who were born in the 80s and the 90s on social media. That is what that business is all about. So what is a goal? And again, this is pen and paper time. Jot this down. It's very simple. It's a stepping stone to the vision. That's all a goal is. A goal is a stepping stone to your vision. Now, the beauty of a vision is that sometimes it may not ever happen. Who knows? It can be that big, that exciting that it could take 100 years to happen, but that's great because it means that you've still got something to strive for and it's going to be never ending. So before we dive a little bit deeper into it, some engagement here, please. When you get into your car and you use, let's say, Google Maps, what is the first thing that you do when you go about setting up Google Maps? And again, if I've shared this analogy with you, please don't share the answers. Let everyone else get involved. What's the first thing that you do when you get into a car and you use Google Maps? The address. What else? Anything else? Put in the end destination. Exactly. You put the destination in. Why do we do that? No trick questions here. It's a simple answer. Yeah, so we know where we're going, right? More so Google Maps knows where you're going. And once you put that in, what does Google Maps do? Works out the best route, finds the best route, gives you the route. Exactly. Okay, so now, let's say, for example, there's a horrible traffic delay on your journey. What does Google Maps do? It gives an alternative route. It reroutes you. Exactly. Let's say, for example, there's a crash, but not a traffic delay. What does it do? No trick questions here. It warns you. What else? It alerts you, offers you an alternative route. So the reason I'm sharing this with you is because a goal is you putting your address into the sat nav. That's as simple as what it is. A goal is you putting your address into the sat nav. And then when you press go, you are Google and you create your route to get to your final destination. Okay. Now, if we use this same analogy, if there's a traffic jam along the way, if there's a crash along the way, you can then reroute, you can adapt your route, but your goal remains the same. Now, let's say if we use this big picture example, we're all based in London and we're all going to go on a massive road trip to India. Right? That's the vision. That's the big picture. We're going to go on a massive road trip to India. It's going to be an absolute laugh. We're going to be on this huge coach. We're going to learn, share, grow with each other. And we're going to have the most incredible life-changing experience. So we'd break that down into stepping stones, right? And we'd adapt along the way. So goal setting, what's involved? Long-term goals, 6 to 10 years plus. Now, you may not necessarily have written this down, but it's definitely something you may want to think about. Succession planning, exit planning, retirement planning. Oftentimes, we don't think this far ahead with our business. You've then got medium term, 2 to 5 year goals. Right, 2 to 5 year goals. Short term, 1 year to 23 months, but ideally 1 year short term, 12-month goals. 90-day plans, so quarterly goals, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. I have to admit, when I first started using this terminology and talking about it, I felt really douchey. And, you know, but it works. It's the reason people use it. It works. Weekly goals, when you start to become a bit of a 7th Dan master at doing this. And elite level daily goals. This is elite level, right? So again, take a screenshot of this if you need. This is the structure of your goals and your planning and what's involved. And if you've never done this before, and you're looking to move very, very quickly, I'd suggest this. Start with short term and start with 90-day plans. So you take your 12-month plan and you chop it up into 90-day plans and you set KPIs and things like that, which I'll get into. But whilst you're doing this, especially if you don't have a vision, work on your vision as well, because now you know how powerful the vision is. You can see how that big vision is going to set the direction, set the course for what you're doing in your business. Yeah. And again, it's something that we coach on every single session. Like when I coach one-to-one clients, every session, we go back to their goals. We coach them. I get coached on this because it's learning, it's implementing, and it's accountability. So here's different types of goals that you can set, just to give you some ideas and some framework in case you don't know where to start. Actually, I should have asked you a question about this. How many of you, since we've been doing all of this, have thought about setting personal goals? Just a yes or no in the chat box. No, yes. A couple of people saying yes, yes, yes. Good, good, good. Love that. Are you guys way ahead of me when I started doing this? I set no personal goals. My mind was like, it was just all business. But again, it was detrimental to myself. I didn't set any health goals, income goals, relationship goals. I want to go on a date. But you know, unless you're setting a goal to do that, I want to go on 5 dates in the quarter. It's not going to happen. So I love this. I came across this concept of from Akala. He's a rapper, poet, writer, just an incredible human being. So intelligent. And he talked about designing your life. And you can use goals to live the life that you design. And this is an ongoing piece of work for me. It's going to be an ongoing piece of work for everyone. But using goals to live the life that you design is incredibly powerful. So back to business, financial goals. One of your goals definitely should be a financial goal. And you're looking at revenue goals, profit goals, cash in the bank goals, that type of thing. Sales, marketing, number of customer goals. And finally, maybe systems goals, teams goals. You know, do you have a checklist system in place for your sales team? Even though everyone knows what they're doing, is it written down and has it been created? So when a new joiner comes, they can, you know, watch the videos and follow the checklist system, stuff like that. If you're recruiting, have you identified your dream employee? Have you designed your recruitment plan so that it hits home every single time? Now, just to see where everyone's minds are at the moment, in terms of number of goals for the year, how many goals do you think you should be setting for the year? Especially if you've never done this before properly. Yeah, just in the chat box, just some numbers. 3, 2 to 4. Any other numbers? 1, yeah? Yeah, I agree. To tell the truth, especially if you've never done it before, you know, I'd say 2 to 5 is top end. 2 to 5 is kind of top end as goal setting goes. Purely because it can become so overwhelming. And when it becomes overwhelming, you don't get anything done. So let's dive into how to go about setting powerful goals. Okay. This is where we start. Sat-nav analogy. This is how you set powerful goals. You start with the end in mind. You need to know your final destination, and that is your start point for your goals. Right? So quick question, please write down some notes. And if you're confident to share in the chat box, please do. But where do you want to be in 12 months? Just your top 1 to 3 thoughts that come into your mind right here, right now. Where do you want to be in 12 months? Where do you want to be in 12 months? And this is what we do next. We work backwards. Google Maps. We've put the destination in. Now we're going to work backwards because it's given us the route. And we're in Q1 now. We've got 2 months left of Q1, so it's a shorter quarter for you guys. But what are your top 3 priorities for Q1? top 3 priorities for Q1. So I'm coaching someone at the moment, and she's a successful dental practice owner, does about £2 million a year. And she's been doing coaching for a while. She sent me 7 goals for her Q1. And the goal that she chose was not even on her list of goals, because her manager, who runs basically all of the businesses, is about to have a baby. And so she didn't put the fact that she needs to recruit maternity cover as a Q1 goal. If she does anything else, it's a bonus, but that is her number 1 priority now. So I just want to share something with you. You'll probably need to Google this. It's called the Pareto method. You may or may not have heard of that. So essentially, we're talking about efficiency and impact. What has maximum impact right now? Your maximum top 3 things you can do in Q1 that's going to move you forward towards your goal. So normally it's the 20% of work that you do that delivers 80% of the results. And that's what we're looking at here. Now, if you've never done goal setting, you've not got goals for the next 12 months, just write that down and say, look, Q1, what's your maximum impact top 3? So Mick, I think it was you mentioning it in the chat box, SMART. Rather than going through and asking you all what you think SMART is, I think it's really important that I will actually. I mean, if you know the answer, don't share it. But what do you think SMART stands for? Well, we've got a bit of time. What do you think SMART stands for? When it comes to your goals, we're going to break this down into making your goals powerful. Yeah, specific, correct. M, measured. I think Roberto's on Google, just smashing out the answers. A, what's that A stand for? Achievable. R, oh, he's done it before. Time-based, yeah, correct. Yeah, spot on. Everyone's looking at Mitt's answers. I know that was me. Honestly, that was me at school. I was copying all the time. So specific, measurable, accountable, achievable, realistic, and time-based. Now, what I want to do is I do want to clarify when it comes to goal setting and dreams in general. You know, we've got here achievable, realistic. In particular, what it is we need the goal to scare you a little bit. You know, if you're hitting 100% of your goals, they're not big enough at all, right? But if they're so big that when you don't hit them, you feel like a punk, then that's not good either, because it's going to affect your mental health. So they have to be in a sweet spot where they're going to move you forward. And I know for sure, look, I will share with you openly, I was guilty of setting terrible goals. You know, I'd kind of start my business and I'd be like, yeah, I want to be doing £5 million in 3 years. This is before I was getting coaching. And every year we wouldn't hit our goals. Every year I'd beat myself up and I'd tell my investors I haven't done it. And in fact, every year we'd make less than I thought we would, just because the goals were not right. And I'll go back to the sat-nav analogy, that what happens if you put the wrong destination in the sat-nav? The obvious answer is you're going to end up in the wrong place. It's the same with your goals. If you put the wrong goal in, yeah, you end up in a lake, exactly, hoping you can swim. So here we want to set goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-based. And again, take a screenshot of this, because this is how you're going to set goals that are going to really move you forward. So here's an example of goals. Vague goals versus specific goals. Again, there's a saying that I came across, which I love. Vague goals will give you vague results. Specific goals will give you specific results. Vague goals, vague results. Specific goals, specific results. So here's an example of a vague goal. My goal is to get fit in 2022. Proper vague. Specific goal. My goal is to run 10K by December 2022. I will run 3 times 4K a week. with the aim of sub 40 minutes for 50 weeks. Very specific goal. It's specific, it's measurable, it's achievable, it's realistic, it's time-based, ticks all the boxes. Now it can be improved, of course. This is just a very short example. And it can be made so much better, but this is a vague goal versus a specific goal. So in your own mind now, if you're going through some potential goals for your business, just jot down the thoughts of how you can make goals specific rather than being vague. If you've got goals in place at the moment and you know what they are, maybe put a star next to the goals that you know are vague goals and that are not going to get you anywhere. So this is a really cool concept I want to share with you. It's called your RAS. And if you want to jot this down and Google it later and get a bit geeky on it, it's quite good fun, I thought. Your reticular activating system. We all have one. And it was basically to serve us well, to help us survive during the time of when we were cave people. And it works like this. If I say to you, do not think of a red bus. Definitely do not think of a red bus. What are you going to do now? In the chat box, please. No trick questions. Don't think of a red bus, okay? Think of a red bus. Exactly. It's an obvious answer. You think of a red bus. So when you're looking at a new, let's say a new car, or you bought a new car. Before you bought the new car, no one else has got this car. The minute you get the new car, everyone's got this car. You see it everywhere, right? Or if a friend and you were talking quite passionately about, I don't know, a new song that only you two thought you knew, you're gonna go everywhere with it. So you set your RAS with your business by, at minimum, reviewing your goals weekly. Out of sight, out of mind. But you set your RAS by reviewing your goals. Because if you tell your RAS, this is my goal, and ideally you want to be doing it weekly, because there's so much stuff going on in life, it will be front and center. You get what you think about most of the time. Yeah, pretty much. If your goal is front and center and you're thinking about it all the time, that is what you're going to focus on, put your energies into, and it's all that you're going to be thinking about. So let's say, for example, your goal might be, I wish to acquire 10 new dream clients this year. You've identified your dream client, you know where they hang out, you know how you're going to find them. And that is your goal. And you've broken it down into quarters, and you're going to get, let's say your target is 3 dream customers this quarter. And that's all you think about all of the time. Guess what's going to happen? You will find solutions. You will find ways to get your dream customer. So that's your RAS. Just a little concept I wanted to share with you. So who's watching your performance? This is where pretty much most people fall down. I fell down. The error when it comes to goal setting is people set their goals and they don't review them. They set it once and they forget about it. That's the difference. If you've done goal setting before and you've been through this experience before, but you've not hit your goals, this is most likely the reason you've not done it. The biggest one. You set it and you forget about it. You don't review it often enough. Coaching makes you consistently review your progress weekly, holds you accountable. Now, coaching, whether it's with a business coach or it could be someone that you're fortunate enough to be able to spend consistent time with, is going to hold you accountable and review where you are versus what you said you were going to do. So the heat map I've got here in football, top managers review stats immediately after games to review the performance and to make their teams better. They do it during games, right? If you watch football, just in the chat box, when they zoom in on managers and the coaching team, what are they doing most of the time, apart from shouting at the players? But what else are they doing? talking to each other, strategy, what else? They're reviewing, right? They're taking notes. They're analyzing. And likewise with your business, if you're not doing this, how do you know whether you're winning or losing against your goals? And another common mistake is people do not make time for their goals. It's all good and well saying I'm going to spend, 10 hours a week on sales calls. But unless we coach on something called the default diary. We teach you on your time management, coach you on your time management. And God knows I needed this. It's an ongoing effort and piece of work for me. But if you're not making time for your goals every week, every day, when are you going to do them? When are you actually going to work on your goals? And again, this is the question. You may want to jot this question down. Who is watching your performance? Because as good as we like to think we all are, we need people to watch our performance. Derek, I went to the evening where Derek gave his talk, and I asked him a similar type of question, and he said that the way that he became so elevated was being surrounded by people that were watching his performance and making him better every day. And then he became elite because he would then do it to himself. But he had these people around him that were watching him, and he was getting better and better and better and better every single day. So as a part of the Founders Club, it's all about growth. And in particular, what I'm doing is here to help the business community as much as possible. I talked to KP about this, and we're offering basically free pro bono introductory coaching sessions for owners and directors, as it says there, for everyone on this call today. Everyone gets it as part of the value add today. And once you've had a chance to think about it and work on it, we'll work on your top 1 to 3 challenges, whether it's time, team, money, and start to help you overcome them. So it's a 1-hour coaching session specifically for you. There's a quick questionnaire. I'll share the link later on. That will allow me to prepare for the coaching session with you. And so, the next step is really to do the one-to-one coaching sessions as a continued part of this webinar education, so that we can work on your business and see where you can go next and start to grow. And like I said, I'll share that link. Actually, should I share it now? Just bear with me 1 second. Let me just get that up now.
While you're doing that, Kooks, I think what we'll do is also, if there's any questions as we come to the end of this, I know we've got about 10 minutes left, less than 10 minutes left. So if there's any questions that anyone has while Kooks is doing that, feel free to drop it into the chat or jump in if you would like to ask. Switch your mics on and just and ask that. But equally, I know, Kooks, that you wanted to ask one of the core things that kind of stood out for everyone.
So I'll share the link in the chat box. So if you guys want to click on that link, that's available now. You can fill it in after our session or whilst we're doing this last bit. But the link's in the chat box. Please do take advantage of it. Genuinely, I'm here for you, with you, to do this and to help move you forward. It's what the Founders Club is about. It's why I love what these guys are doing. And what I'd like to ask you is if you can all publicly please share your biggest light bulb moment from today in the chat box. And then we'll go on to we'll remove the presentation. We'll just have a chat and go into the questions. So just share your biggest light bulb, the whole thing. No, we need specifics. Let's get down to it, Rashira. Thank you, though. I appreciate that. One big light bulb moment. If you could just share that in the chat box, please. Realistic goals. Definition of a business. Any others? The RAS. I don't have a business, I have a job. That's huge. That is huge. Getting someone to watch your performance, applying SMART goals, the vision. Perfect. Building people and building businesses. Yes. Love this. Love this. Perfect. Well, look, thank you so much for sharing. That's the most important bit, that we share this. We have these big light bulb moments. Hopefully in your notebooks, these are written down. Importance of bringing team on mission. Yeah, Hugo, that's massive. And just to actually expand on that, I talked about the big road trip we're all going to go on. Imagine we're all different parts of this team. We're going to go on this road trip. How excited everyone is going to be, because we know that our role is integral to that big vision, that big dream, and how integral our role is going to be in the goal that's going to get us there. Right. And you're then just going to push so hard to make that happen. So having a goal that pushes you out of your comfort zone as well as being realistic. Yeah, it's realistic-ish, almost realistic, just within touching distance. So yeah, if you've never run before in your life and you're saying in 3 months you want to run a marathon, who knows? I can't, it's not my job to say to someone whether they can or can't do anything, but think about it is what I would say. All right, cool. So I'm going to stop sharing this, and we'll share the webinar with everyone as well. Cheers, Bav. Appreciate that.
Just on that, I know Bav just said that as well. I know that your Instagram link is on there, Kooks, as well. So yeah, I'd love for you guys to join me on Instagram. I'm putting stuff like this out all the time. Genuinely, I want to engage with people, and like I'm there to like help just share my experiences, because if I can help you guys avoid as any of the pain that I went through, that's what it's all about for me. Yeah, do follow Kooks. He's put some really good content out there. But I don't know if anyone had any questions for Kooks or for me, or just in general. Anyone any questions? Drop into the chat or put your mic. Yeah, or any thoughts, like anything that you feel like you want to share. Any insights? One of the things, Kooks, one of the last things that you mentioned, which I think was hugely profound, was who's watching your performance. Yeah, because I think we all get caught up in our businesses, and sometimes it can be a lonely place. And I think on that, yes, of course, there's coaching, but I think even maybe looking at the people around you. I mean, I'm very, very blessed to have Sonny, obviously my brother and business partner. We're in the team together, so we bounce off each other. But there's a lot of people. Most people probably don't have business partners. But I think it's essential to either your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, close friend. So if you are sharing with a close friend, but somebody who understands that vision as well, it's really, I think it's hugely important to have that someone with you who can, measure your performance as well. So, you say at the start of, your quarter saying, listen, this is what I want to do in the next 3 months. And you to add to, sorry, go ahead. Sorry. No. They can support you on that. That's what I was going to say. Yeah, I mean, I was just going to add to what you're saying. So for me, there's 2 parts to what you're saying as well, right? The first part is I missed this initially before I started getting coaching. It was ego. There was an ego to me, even though like people meet me and they go, "Oh, Kooks, you're humble." Well, no, I had an ego. I thought, because I'd started something from a garden shed and I was on TV and I was like being interviewed and people loved what I was doing, and I was building a business. I was successful, and Sonny and I had built 152 apartments. I thought I was Johnny Big Bollocks. I had an ego, and like when someone came to me and they're like, "Get coaching," I'd be like, "Well, why am I going to get a coach? I know what I'm doing. I've come this far. I can kill it by myself." Right? That was it. That was a big thing for me. And then the second part of it is that, actually the live example is Sonny and me. We have these talks consistently since we've known each other. The problem with it is that we've also got our own lives and our own businesses. Unless we had made time every week at a fixed time and date to sit and talk about business, it would never happen. It would be like when we met up at a social function, when we just have a random conversation, and it'd be rambling about many different things. The difference I found when I actually got a coach was that I knew every 2 weeks I had a 2.5 hours coaching session. I knew I had an accountability coach. I knew that at that time it was all about coaching, and it was in the first time in my life I was paying for it as well. I was like, why am I going to pay someone to coach me on business? But
it was the fact that I was paying for it meant that I turned up, and I was the first time in my life I was an A-star student because I paid for it. I sat at the front of the class. I'd take all the notes. I'd ask all the questions. And often what I've found is that, especially on coaching, like even people that I'm not coaching, those that drop out, those that don't continue it, you just see them like do this, or they like kind of stabilize, because that's the support is all gone. Like Derek, I remember in your talk that you were saying that, you know, the reason that you reached that elite level is because you had Daley Thompson, you were like living with him, he was like coaching you all the time, then another person coaching you, and it was relentless coaching.
Yeah.
There was no choice but for you to elevate because of the people that you were being held accountable by and who you were being elevated by. And so it's the same thing here with your businesses. Like if you're serious about building a business that can work without you, or you want to elevate and achieve your dreams, that is so important. Like you said, your environment, who are you surrounded by, that's going to keep you on track? Because friends and family is great, but everyone's got their own life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. You know, so look, guys, we're coming to the end of it. First and foremost, wanted to give a huge thanks to Kooks for taking his time out on a Monday morning to give us this insight on goals, and we thought it was obviously very fitting to do it, you know, specifically at the end of Jan as well, because we've all probably got goals which we set, you know, at the start of the year, which most of us have probably dropped 1 or 2 goals. I don't know, you know, but that's usually the way it is. So as we kind of move into Feb, I think it's hugely you know, key to if we focus on our goals for the next kind of Feb and March and see how we get on. Before I forget, we are doing another webinar masterclass on Thursday morning with Nilesh Dosa, who's the founder of I Can, You Can Too, a charity. So if any of you are thinking of making any kind of philanthropic or charitable footprint this year, then Thursday's webinar is definitely going to be for you. You know, we're looking to do certain things for our charity partners this year, but we want to do it as a collective group. So we'll look at doing certain things. What's our goals for the end of the year, or by the end of the year, and how are we going to do that collectively as a network of in the Founders Club. So you know, do keep an eye out for that. That's on Thursday at Ruchira, I think it's at 10 o'clock, right? Is that at 10 o'clock? I'm pretty sure. I think it's 10 o'clock. But you guys will get a link on that. But please do keep a note on that. Kooks, is there anything else that you needed to add before we all shoot off?
No, I was just going to say I'm happy to spend another 10 minutes in case anyone wants to talk about anything or add anything extra. But if not, I'm good. But yeah, I'm happy to spend.
If there's any questions, yeah, let us know if there's any questions. But if not, like I said, look, definitely follow Kooks on Instagram. Kooks, again, thank you very much. And I know, you know, thanks from me, Ruchira, and obviously the rest of the team at the club as well. Anything that you guys need from us, as always, look, feel free to reach out, drop us a message as well. You know, so listen, thank you very much.
Sorry, KP, just to add one more thing. We'll email the webinar out to everyone. And then also the link to the 1 hour coaching. So I'm fully expecting you guys, please take advantage of that. I'm going to be waiting for your questionnaires to come in, and then we'll get that locked in over the next like 2 weeks or so, 3 weeks. We'll book that in, do those sessions with you, and then we can build on it from there.
Amazing. Listen, thank you very much, everyone. Have a fantastic week. See you on Thursday for those who can make it. And I'm pretty sure 24th we have our member meet and greet. So I look forward to raising a glass or 3 with you at the end of Feb. So in the meantime, have a fantastic week, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Kooks. Thank you.
No worries. We're staying on now, yeah, KP?
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Cheers, everyone.
Thanks, guys. Hiran, you left. Hiran's fallen asleep.
Oh, he might have done.
He's like mesmerized, or I think he's frozen actually.
No, he's not.
No, it's still, the video's still on. I don't know if he knows he's still in.
Yeah, Hiran, Hiran, can you hear us?
You might have to message him.
No, I think you can take people off, KP.
Oh, can you?
I think so.
Yeah, if you hover over their name, I think some
Or
options
something.
might come up.
Let's have a look. Ask a minute. Remove.
If you click on participants.
Yeah, that's okay. I can put remove actually.
Yeah.
Um,
More.
That is so bizarre.
Yeah,
Okay, right, he's gone.
Then there was us.
And then there's the three of us. Kooks, thank you so much. That was so insightful, insightful, not insightful. So insightful.
Inspiring and insightful.
Oh,
And
good,
you
man. I was
what-
going to ask, like, genuinely, like, what did you guys think, man? Like,
No,
always
really
honest
good.
feedback. Like, how can I make it better? What did you think?
You know,
The thing with this stuff is, it's like you always need more because you just kind of touch the tip of the iceberg.